Hey, FlimsyLunchTray here, and welcome to our Saturday video. A little different than a normally we would cover do an upgrade and commander build video, but that is not the case. Yesterday we featured the Ohio. I'm going to play Ohio for a week, and then next Saturday I'll do an upgrade and commander build on the Ohio once I have a little bit more time and experience with her. But I thought we'd switch things up today, and we would drop things down to tier 5. This is going to be... It was a hysterical battle. It was a lot of fun. And so starting off, before kind of getting more into the details of the game and breaking things down, I want to talk about the fun you can have at tier 5 in World of Warships. If you are sick and tired of all the gimmicks in the game at the high tier, drop down to the low tiers. Drop down to tier 5. If you're tier 6, you can be bottom tier in tier 8, and you start running gimmicks at tier 8, right? Drop down to tier 5, tier 4, tier 3, tier 2, even, right? A lot of people will say, oh, you're being a seal clubber, which can be somewhat true, let's be honest. But for me, I like to drop down to these tiers. The reason why I'm even playing Division with Doom, Clan Commander, here at tier 5, is we had played 3 tier 9 matches in a row, and guess what? Blowout, blowout, blowout. Every one of those was a loss. And the matchmaking was just screwing us. So we switched to co-op briefly, then we're like, you know what? Usually we can hop over into tier 5, or drop down to tier 5 in randoms, and play destroyers, and do a lot of fun. We have another clanmate we typically would play with. He's not been able to play much World of Warships lately. Curly, also at tier 5. So this is a tier 5 division going on. Can be a lot of fun. So, my encouragement to you, if you're tired of all the gimmicks in the game, if you want to be able to just like have fun and kind of remember the joy maybe you once had in playing World of Warships, is drop down to tier 5. Drop down to these tiers, you get away from the gimmicks, you get away from super ships, you know, that belong in their own game mode, like, I don't know, grand battles. You get away from a lot of submarines, which belong in their own game mode battle, like, I don't know, submarine battles. And it's sucking away a lot of fun for me playing high tier. So I like to take a break, come down, drop here tier 5. So Doom is in the Fujin. I'm in Nicholas. If you're not familiar with Fujin, it's a kamikaze. 7-kilometer torpedoes that reload pretty quick. And these torpedoes, if you build a torpedo build, you can get the speed of these 7-kilometer torpedoes up to 75 knots. So, you know, being a tier 5 and destroyer like that, you know, look me in the straight eye and tell me that that's not fun. So going into the game commentary here, we do mess up here. I was not paying attention to the New Mexico, who just laps us for a large portion of our health. That was a total misplay by me. So we're going to have to play a little bit more safely now in order to hopefully help our team get a win here. Hopefully. Emphasis on hopefully. So I'm still going to contest this cap for a little longer. You can see up on the center right of the screen, I am located. That it means someone is running the radio location, or also known as RPF skill, so they know roughly where I'm at, and they're probably able to figure that out. It's probably the kamikaze, I'm assuming, who's running it. Because I'm in the cap, and he knows I'm probably just in the backside of this cap. I don't like to play often too close to that island, because you can put yourself in a really bad position if the destroyer decides to yellow you. Here I'm just dumping some preemptive torps just in case, or on both sides of the island. The torpedoes I'm running the 5.5 kilometer torpedoes. I think you can get the other options are 6, but they have a longer reload time. These have a very quick reload time. You can see I'm already down to beneath 40 seconds. And to me, a half kilometer is not that big a difference. And when you're playing in smoke and have ships pushing into you, often I like to stick with these faster reloading torpedoes. That's what I prefer in the Nicholas. And I even have an upgrade commander build already on the Nicholas, so I can throw that video up at the end if you want to check that out. Just because I have a lot of fun. Clemson, the tier 4 American destroyer, Nicholas, tier 5, in my opinion, are really good destroyers to play. Even something like the Kamikaze, Fujin, those are premium. They're somewhat similar to the Metakaze, the Tech Tree tier 5 destroyer, but roughly, it's not the same. But yeah, the Kamikaze R, Fujin, and then I think there's a fourth one too. I can't remember. So I decide that I need to get off this cap. I don't feel comfortable enough to sit here much longer. The Fujin or the enemy Kamikaze out to text me. I just don't feel like this is the best place for me to be. I'm really concerned about our team down at A. They're not doing well at this point in time. They're really struggling. And I do not see things going well on that flank. We have let's see, not a Fletcher, a Farragut there in the smoke, who for some reason decided to run up around, maybe get the enemy destroyer. I think it's the Gupard, something like that, that just flipped Bravo. But he ended up stopping and smoking up. Doom has knocked out the enemy Hyuga battleship, so that's great. One less destroyer. I go ahead and move back up here a little bit, see if I can't support him. Probably what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and smoke up. We're going to get these guns going in action, because we don't even have a damage yet in the game. I've just been kind of waiting to see what's happening. But now's the time to get some damage going. One of the things we have to be mindful of is because I've smoked up here, the enemy Kamikaze can definitely throw some torpedoes in our direction. So I'm going to try to more angle away from where I think the Kamikaze might dump torpedoes from. So if we need to run, we can pop that engine boost to get away. So when I'm in a position like this, I'm already running maybe different possibilities through my head, and I'm making the next decision, like, oh, what if the Kamikaze throws torpedoes at us? Oh, we have a solution for that. Let's angle away. We can boost away if need be. We can focus on this enemy, New Mexico, pushing in. Then we have this enemy destroyer who's pushed out as our Farragut's losing the fight to him. And so we're going to try to get some damage in on him, keep him under pressure, get him as low as possible. Hopefully we can pick up the kill on him. Doom has finished off the New Mexico with his torpedoes, so that's going to be the second kill for us as a division, but second kill for him. And that number is only going to go up from here. The engines are busted on that enemy destroyer. If you can look into smokestacks, you can see he's like fire coming out, but looks like he's damage control partied it, so he's going to be boosting away again. And I've kind of feel like I've spent too much time here. I need to go ahead and exit smoke because I'm just really conscious of torpedoes coming my way and finishing me off, because smoke screens are torpedo magnets. So I have to be very mindful of that. Looks like we got an enemy battleship pushing up. There's the Kamikaze. The Poltava does finish off the Gupard. Probably pronouncing that ship wrong. I'm also taking note of our Duke of York to the south. There's no need for him to be down there. It's 1 versus 5 for him there. He needs to run ASAP. So we're going to call him, ask him if he will back off a bit. So things are not looking good for us. We're only at 68 points. There's the torpedoes going for my smoke screen, or possibly RPF launch torpedoes towards Doom, who's going to be flipping that cap. So I'm going to move down towards the center of the map now. I'm going to go ahead and move down here towards B. Our Leon is having a really hard time flipping the cap because he keeps getting reset. I'm going to ask the Duke of York to back off again. He now decides to pop his hydroacoustic search. But thankfully he's been able to dodge the torpedoes thus far, so in his situation I would have popped it a little bit sooner. We're going to leave the enemy battleship up by Doom and C. Going to leave him to it. He can probably take out, let's see, it's a West Virginia 1941, I believe it is. So he should be able to take care of that very easily. One of the emphasis of when you're a destroyer player and you're outnumbered and you're going up against cruisers, battleships, it's utilizing your concealment to stay outside of detectability range and getting torpedoes into them. Even if, like for example, my concealment in the Nicholas, I can't stealth torpedo because my torpedo range is smaller than my concealment range. However, I can stealth torpedo in a smoke screen, utilize islands as I duck behind, as an enemy ship's pushing into me or kiting away. That's the biggest thing. Nicholas is quite fun because she has 4 racks of 4x3 torpedoes, so 12 torpedoes in all that reload really quick with actually pretty good, decent torpedo angles. So we flipped Bravo. They're chewing down this Yudachi, who has been a big pain for our team to the south. So we'll go ahead and push in, see if we can get rid of him. And naturally, it's going to be torpedoes coming from the Yudachi in. So our Poltava is not going to survive those Japanese torpedoes, unfortunately.
Torpedoes to starboard.
So now basically, it'd been nice if I did not got slapped really hard by New Mexico earlier on in the game. So I have to be very mindful of my health. But I'm in a position now I have to play aggressive. We only have 4 ships remaining, and the enemy team has 9 ships remaining at this point in time. And we're still struggling with the points difference. Doom has just picked up the West Virginia 1941, and the cap is going to remain firmly in our hands. There's a second smoke screen off here to the right, so I know one of the enemy kamikazes is there. If you notice, we've not seen the other enemy kamikaze yet this whole entire game, so I'm really leery of where he could be. But I don't really have a choice. I have to push in, I have to close the distance and pick up this enemy Yudachi. Now, I did fire where I'm still going to be detected by an enemy cruiser down in A. So I'm going to use this enemy Yudachi smoke screen to go back being dark again. Kamikaze does have a pretty long reload time on his guns, so thankful for that. Don't remember how long, but I feel like it's like 8, 9, or 10 seconds, something like that. Our enemy Leon is pushing in on the smoke, and I have a moment like, oh crap, enemy kamikaze is right there, but he's AFK, so we're going to dump torpedoes on him while we finish on working on this other enemy kamikaze. Leon slaps him, but because of the kamikaze reload time on this torpedoes being so quick, it's likely that the Leon is not going to survive as we pick up the AFK kamikaze. So this was actually a 12 versus 11, if you will. But we do lose the enemy, or our friendly Leon. So now it's 2 versus 5. This is not a great situation to be in, but if I was going to be in a situation like this, I would want to be in a destroyer. So you're going to really see me and Doom work together here now with utilizing the strengths of a destroyer, which is her torpedoes, her concealment. I'm going to mess up here and there and get a little bit too close to the enemy to get my torpedoes off, so I'm definitely going to be critiquing myself in those points. But I see a lot of players who just simply wander into enemy concealment range of detectability range above an enemy battleship cruiser and just get slapped. Like, a Kagero at tier 8 wanders into an enemy Massachusetts. The torpedo range is really good on Kagero. There's no reason why you should get lit. I do get to have a good laugh in chat because the enemy kamikaze we killed, he says that I'm an easy kill, so I really laugh at that. I find it really funny. This player base cracks me up sometimes. So we're just gonna laugh because I think it's funny. So this is a really cool opportunity moment because Doom is on the opposite side of Bravo, but now he's kind of moving back towards C, and I'm on this side. So we can keep throwing torpedoes into the cap here. He's got torpedoes out on this enemy Gigantus now, and I'm just watching. I was like, oh, I think he's gonna get the kill here. So now 2 versus 5 is a 2 versus 4. One of the challenges is we have 6 minutes left on the clock, but we need as much time as possible to work our magic. Even if I want to try to reset the enemy team here in Bravo, it's just not worth it. I'm too low on health. I don't have a smoke right now, as the smoke I'd had is now dissipated. And now we're going to start throwing torpedoes towards these 2 cruisers pushing into us, so we're going to be working our throttle. Enemy Hawkins has not been seen for some time, so it's not good for us. Not sure if he's just still running or if he's AFK down somewhere around A, but we really need him actually up here if we're going to have a chance to win, because we need to kill everyone at this point of how things are going. So even though my concealment is worse than my torpedo range, you're going to see me keep working the throttle here, dumping torpedoes. I think there is going to be a brief moment here where I'm going to end up getting detected, not playing wisely enough to stay outside of it, because ultimately these guys are just going to keep pushing in, and I don't need to have to be so close, but I just really want these torpedoes to be effective. But I have no excuse for the one or two times that I end up getting detected here shortly. So here you can see I actually popped the engine boost because I was concerned with getting detected, because the log glassine there is really just pushing in, and you see that I do indeed get detected, so I'm gonna have to burn smoke here. We lose a bit more health than we would like to. We'd like to lose none, but we're gonna drop down to 1,000, so that's gonna be unfortunate. He's gonna eat one of our torpedoes in flooding, so now it's up to us to kill the throttle and open up with our main battery and pick up our third kill here. So now we have coordinated attack, which is once you get 7 kills. So between the two of us, we have 7 kills now. So now a 2 versus 5 is a 2 versus 3. So Doom is continuing to wander back this way. I want to get around on the edge, the side of this enemy Graf's Bay. He probably is going to be pushing into the smoke. We're not going to stay there. There's no need to stay there. We can see the spotter plane from the enemy Scharnhorst, even though we can't see him. We know he's pushing towards the sea cap. And we're going to kind of move around here. One of the things that's great with the short reload times that both Doom and I have is that we're able to set up a cross torp. So cross torps is basically when 2 destroyer players work together. It can be a destroyer cruiser player as an example, where you set up these torpedoes, like we just mine missed, but the enemy Graf's Bay turns broadside and he's going to eat Doom's torpedoes. And I think that's going to be the next point in time, so not this one yet. I was thinking in my mind, I was like, yeah, he dies here, doesn't he? He's like, no, it's going to be later. But an example of a good cross torpedo is when you work together in tandem to get those torpedoes off. So, but I make a comment in chat, only if we had more time, we might be able to work this out. Because, I can step on a B and get the cap back for us, which would be good. But Doom picks up his Kraken Unleashed and deletes the enemy Graf's Bay. As to the horror of the enemy team, they were just watching like, what is happening? These two guys have 8 kills on us now. But yeah, cross torpedoes, if you can set them up really well. When we did that, where I thought Doom was going to pick up the enemy Graf's Bay, we did that unintentionally. We weren't coordinating on that. But you can coordinate on something like that and get the maximum effect, even though in that case, we were thinking somewhat similar, but it just didn't work out. So now here's the enemy Hawken. So originally, I wanted to be able to step onto this cap, but even if I step on the cap, even if I take the cap, there's no way that we'd still gonna win. Like, this guy has to die. And if I step on the cap, I'm telling this enemy Hawkins where I am. So we're gonna stay outside the edge of the cap. This is gonna be the second instance where I end up getting too close. And I have no explanation for what this Hawkins does. I'll give you my conclusion after this happens. But he's closing in the distance, and I should already be turning away now at this point. I'm really getting too close to him, because when you look at my concealment circle on the minimap, he's definitely gonna light me, okay? So we stack both of those torpedo tubes, torpedo sets on top of one another, and I'm expecting him to start shooting at me, change speed, change course, and he doesn't. And he's still sailing straight, and his guns are still not looking at me, even though I'm dark now. And he eats the torpedoes and dies. So now, what was a 2 versus 5 is a 2 versus 1. And I'm kind of bewildered and like asking in chat what is happening. What I'm thinking the Hawkins must have done is he just set a course to Bravo, and he's like, nah, I can look on my phone or I can leave the screen or something like that. But fortunately, we do not have the time to pick up the win here and eliminate the last ship. But this is hysterical, just with what happened in this match. In between Doom and myself, we picked up 15 achievements. That is some Destroyer Division power at Tier 5. So if you want to just chill out and have some fun, Tier 5 is definitely the place to do it. There's a couple of good destroyers at Tier 5. I think the Grimiachi, the Kamikaze, Nicholas. Those are some of the first destroyers that come into my mind. So we didn't even break 40,000 damage, even though we picked up the 4 kills. And naturally, Doom and myself are going to be sitting on top of the team. So it would have been nice if the rest of our team was able to pick up, just that, additional kill. It would have been helpful. But here we are. It's World of Warships. But even though it was a loss, Doom and I just thought this battle was hysterical. It was funny. I really enjoyed it. It was a highlight for me, even though we lost. Because this, it's not always about winning. I mean, when you win, yeah, it helps things be positive and help. But also working at getting to the point that, it's having a good time. Especially when you have some friends to play the game with, like in this battle. So if you need to chill out, you're tired of playing the high tier stuff, and you want to remind yourself of what it's like to have fun in World of Warships again, drop down to Tier 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I usually do 3 to 5 if I'm just wanting to have a break from the upper tiers, but because a lot of players are beginning to, I was talking to someone yesterday who was saying that he stopped playing the high tier a couple months ago. I know other players who they don't play random battles anymore because of Wargaming's decisions. I know players who are quitting because of the decisions Wargaming's making, but that's probably a different video for a different time. But here you go. So if you liked today's video, give it a thumbs up. If you did not, give it a thumbs down. Subscribe if you do want to see more. If you're subscribed, thanks so much. I really appreciate it, and we'll catch you here next time. Take care.